world championship. He fought for a world title, fought defending a world title on August 17th, and then turned right around and fought also on a Tyson Fury undercard on September 14th. What is this, the 1950s over here with Navarrete? I love this guy, Lennox, with his attitude of wanting to be in there and simply fight.
And he's a knockout puncher as well. He throws some great punches. I was watching his last couple fights. He moves well, good ring generalship, and a good fighter.
Yeah, Navarrete likes to get you with volume. He'll put pressure on you with his feet, get in range, and let those shots go. And to Joe's point, yes, he's a throwback. Fighters don't fight like that anymore. They go to the gym for 8 to 10 and 12 weeks to get in shape. Navarrete fights to stay in shape, and there's a difference.
Fighting to stay in shape. It's funny, there are world champions in this modern era of the sport. You see them fight once a year, often twice a year. Now, obviously, the money becomes huge at a world championship level where you can get away with that. Then there's the wear and tear, but this is a guy who just wants to ply his craft.
And there's a place for that, Joe. You get to a certain point where the training camps are harder, they're longer, the fights are tougher. You don't need to be fighting 3 and 4 times a year, unless you've not taken punishment in those fights. But in most cases, when you're fighting at the highest level, 2, maybe 3 times a year is probably the right antidote.
Of course, the two of you came to that point in your career where you made a certain decision, both retiring as world champions off of wins. The rematch with Dogbe came in May of 2019, and he also roughed him up down the stretch of that fight to the point where he scored a TKO, did Navarrete, in the 12th round when he had the rematch against the man that he took the belt from.
That was nice of him, giving him a rematch.
Well, the outcome wasn't nice.
No, the outcome was brutal for Dogbe. Of course, we have the ultimate rematch tonight with Wilder and Fury, the first rematch in heavyweight history between undefeated world champions.
Santiaima is also a guy who he rarely takes a step backwards. He doesn't mind fighting. He's a two-fisted fighter who likes to hit the body when given the opportunity. He's yet to find his range, so he hasn't thrown very many punches at this point.
He said he wants to knock out Navarrete.
He's got to get to him first.
End of one, the title defense for Emanuel Navarrete. Of course, Deontay Wilder is looking for the 11th defense of his title. And he got a very nice visit from a guy who knows exactly what it's like to defend world champions. That is Terrence Bud Crawford, WBO welterweight champion, the former undisputed junior welterweight champion, and number 2 on the current ESPN.com pound-for-pound list, visiting with Deontay Wilder. But you can see how Wilder is constantly locking in here. He has been pacing back and forth, just keeping loose in his locker room.
He's been on his feet a lot, Joe, walking back and forth. He's not...
What do you think of that?
I mean, it's nervous energy, clearly.
Well, the other guy's not on his feet. He's hanging out on a leather couch.
Yeah, both guys prepare differently. For Deontay right now, he wants to walk around. He can't wait to get in the ring. Tyson Fury, he's resting. He says, no need to get excited too fast. I'm resting right now.
You got to save those legs because you might need them.
Tyson Fury has never seen a camera he doesn't like, always finding it, always smiling, always playing to it. Yesterday in the weigh-in, we had a comical moment when Deontay Wilder was on the same kind of couch in his locker room before they came out. And he was with his fiancée, and they were curled up, and he was resting with the sunglasses on. And Tyson Fury decided he would mock him and do the same thing with his 400-pound brother Shane, and cuddled into him. And then both guys realized they could see each other on the split screen on camera, and it went south from there, only to continue on stage and after the scale with the barbs that were thrown.
I guess that was the alternative since they couldn't really see each other face to face or get as close as they normally would at a weigh-in. So I guess that was the alternative.
Yeah, that was the decision made after Wednesday's news conference.
Yeah, continual gamesmanship from both of them.
That's something we're going to talk about as the evening goes on, the gamesmanship between Wilder and Fury. For now, round number 2 of this WBO 122-pound championship fight. Santiaima in the darker trunks, the challenger from the Philippines. He threw 19 punches in that first round. Navarrete threw 62 and landed 18 of them. .29% connect percentage for Navarrete.
I think Navarrete is fighting the right game plan right now. Very patient. He's not allowing Santiaima to get settled, because when he gets settled and he gets comfortable, like I said before, he'll allow both hands to fly. He'll hit to the body, he'll hit to the head. He's very, very aggressive. So you got to touch a guy like that. You have to give him subtle movements. And Navarrete is doing that right now. He's being very patient.
There's Santiaima, as he was able to land that right hand, that Navarrete covered up. And he comes forward with a 3-punch combination, including that left uppercut.
Classic move from Navarrete right there is to lean to the left, show the left uppercut, but really throw it right here.
It's been like 20 years, man.
Navarrete doesn't have to really go looking for Santiaima. Santiaima is coming after him. You know, he wants to get close. He wants to be able to throw punches. He wants to be able to connect with those punches as well.
Okay.
919228, man. For everyone, check me out, bro.
Still the same names, baby. I'm good, man. Word, man. Let's see, baby.
Start to see in the background there, the crowd filling in here at the Grand Garden Arena. Show you all the celebrities as they make their entrance a little later on, prior to the heavyweight championship fight. Navarrete with the jab here. Closing moments of round 2. And of course, we will constantly monitor everything that is going on in the locker rooms with the undefeated heavyweight champions. And right now, you're getting a really good look as to how the wraps are going on. The most brutal hand in boxing, the right hand of Deontay Wilder. You see that layer of pads being put on the knuckles, and Wilder so attentive as to every move being put forth, and it's being put forth by Mark Breland, former Olympic medalist and world champion himself. Meanwhile, you see the Kronk t-shirt overlooking there with a member of the Nevada State Athletic Commission. As is always allowed, a member of the opposing camp can watch how the hands are being repped. And that is Andy Lee, who is the cousin of Tyson Fury, himself a former world champion as a middleweight. He is a longtime Kronk fighter, and it was Andy Lee, who was first in Detroit training nearly a decade ago, who invited Tyson to come over. That's when Manny Stewart was still in his prime, prior to his illness. They spent time together with Sugar Hill Stewart, who now trains Tyson Fury. And when Tyson Fury was searching around saying, I'd like to possibly go in a new direction, it was his cousin Andy Lee, who was watching the wraps there, who said the perfect fit would be to reunite with Kronk. And that is what he did. So Sugar Hill Stewart and Andy Lee will be in the corner of Tyson tonight.
Mark Breland, also a former Kronk fighter.
Yeah, Mark Breland, by the way, a great fighter back in the day, both as an amateur and as a pro, and he has been a critical part of the success of Deontay Wilder, along with his longtime trainer from there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, J.D.'s. That has been an unbreakable bond for years for Wilder. A body punch comes in from the champion Navarrete. Round number 3 here.
Santiaima felt that left hook to the body right there. He took a walk around the park to get a break, and Navarrete noticed it.
Navarrete finding some confidence coming forward here in round number 3. Body punches, he's been able to land 14%. That left hand hit the mark moments ago.
I like Navarrete right now. You know what he's doing. He's keeping the distance. He's being first. That means he's, you know, throwing the first punches. He's not waiting, and he's not in one standing position. He's moving around. He's being a little bit elusive. He's not being a standard target, and you know, he's looking for his openings.
We talked about Imam earlier in the night, not giving different looks, doing the same thing over and over. And like you mentioned, Champ, Navarrete is giving so many different looks, and it's hard to get settled. It's hard to know what he's going to do. He shows you one thing, and he does another. You think he's throwing the left, he throws the right. The next thing you know, you're in a shootout with him, and then he's back on the outside using his reach. I love what he's doing. I don't think he gets enough credit for his nuance, for his skill, and for his boxing IQ.
Yeah, and he's throwing these punches at distance. You know, he's not going in real close to throw these uppercuts. He's throwing his uppercuts from far.
And that's really a no-no in the boxing game when you're being taught, but it works for him, and he's perfected it.
Yes, it is. Usually guys come back with a good right hand after a guy throws an uppercut, but you know, it's not easy to hit Navarrete with a right hand.
Combination here at the end of round number 3. Another left hand from Navarrete. Trying to target the right hand, and he does. Special night here in Vegas, as we have been spending the week at the MGM Grand. And there it is, where all the action is taking place, just behind that legendary casino hotel, Wilder Fury 2. By the way, they can now confirm that what is happening here tonight is breaking the record for a live gate of heavyweight boxing in the state of Nevada. They do not have the final tally yet, but they do know that they have now passed the mark of Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield's rematch in 1999. That gate came in at $16,860,000. They have sold north of $17 million worth of tickets here at the MGM Grand Garden Arena. There is the Hall of Fame promoter Bob Arum and Top Rank Boxing. Top Rank President Todd DeBuff making that announcement to ESPN not long ago. And give credit to both Top Rank and the PBC, as well as Fox and ESPN, of having great common sense leadership to saying, make this fight. And look at what the embraced response has been by the buying public. That is the live gate number tonight. It will be number 1 in the history of heavyweight boxing live gate in the state of Nevada. Of course, we will get those final numbers in the coming days, but it is going to be north of 17 million just inside the arena alone.
That's great news. Although they broke
You happy
our
about
record,
that?
although they broke my record,
You happy about that?
I'm happy. I'm happy. It
Lennox Lewis, you
shows
are
great
connected.
promotion and social media.
Lennox, you are connected with history every which way, because your fight against Evander Holyfield that had the record for live gate, that was only the second heavyweight championship rematch in history after a draw. Now comes number 3 in the history of the division tonight.
Let me tell you, records are there to be broken. So there you go.
Well, you had some of the greatest, and we're happy to have you here ringside on our broadcast team. Former undisputed heavyweight champion, who will see the crowning of the guy who will be considered the heavyweight champion tonight, who will remain undefeated between Wilder and Fury. And this is the moment where the commission signs off on the most powerful weapon in sports, the right hand of Deontay Wilder. So the wrap has been approved. Wilder is now ready to be gloved up. Nevada State Athletic Commission has signed off on the wrap on that right hand. Andy Lee, who was monitoring the wrapping of Wilder's right hand for Team Fury. No objection, and look at Santiaima as he comes forward here in round 4 against the world champion Navarrete, who is ready to respond.
So it's like I said, now you're in a shootout all of a sudden. So you see Navarrete boxing and using his skill, and all of a sudden you're in a shootout. It's hard to get mentally settled when you're facing Navarrete.
Stop. Okay?
It's kind of like a half punch, half push, as he was coming forward that time, and it gets Navarrete's attention at least.
What you see is one guy in Santiaima who does one thing well. If he's in place and he has you right there, he throws good shots with both hands. And then you see Navarrete, who does multiple things good. I'm going to take the guy who has more tricks, up his sleeve and more tools in the toolbox.
Santiaima willing to dip and go to the body, but what does he do? He eats more return fire from Navarrete.
And Navarrete is showing these nuances in his skill because he stays busy, Joe. He's an active fighter, so you have no choice but to get better when you're active.
Threw over 85 punches in this round alone, did the champion Navarrete.
And here you see Navarrete coming in with his combinations. A little bit off balance when he's throwing that hook. Gets caught with a great left hook by Santiaima.
Hit him in the neck.
Yeah, hit him in the neck.
There's Santiaima coming up. Yeah, he gets him right in the neck and the side of the head. So by far, the challenger from the Philippines' best moment of the fight.
But it's like I said, he's willing to exchange. He's willing to fight you. He's unafraid, but you have to be right in front of him.
WBO 122-pound title on the line here. Our first World Championship fight tonight. Joe Tessitore, Andre Ward, Lennox Lewis with you ringside. We will take it all the way through the evening to Wilder and Fury. Max Kellerman and Brian Kenny up top with Sean Porter and Tim Bradley. The former welterweight champions, Bernardo Asuno, our ringside reporter, and thrilled to have Kate Abdo and Mark Kriegel providing commentary. And our unofficial scorer ringside is Larry Hazard Sr., who has this 39-37 in favor of the champion Navarrete. And now Mark Breland is working on the left hand of Deontay Wilder. The left hand that many say needs to be in use more. The jab could be a far more effective tool for Deontay Wilder, perhaps a more fully evolved and effective fighter. But when you have the greatest single weapon in boxing, oh boy, do you like to use it. And that is the right hand and that power.
Oh yeah, and you know, Deontay's got a great right hand. Everybody's looking for that right hand, but I know there's a left hook in there. There's an uppercut in there that, you know, a lot of people don't know about, and I'm sure that he wants to bring that out in this fight.
So as Wilder gets wrapped, Tyson Fury sits back and is still relaxing, flanked by his wife Paris and his family, his brothers. And free, let's go. Watching along, see if Emanuel Navarrete can come up with another title defense here. Santiaima did have his moments in the last round, but it's been the constant work rate of Navarrete that has been controlling the action as he lunges ahead with a series of right hands. Turns southpaw for a moment. That is not a knockdown there, but look at the work rate tallied by CompuBox. Navarrete has thrown 375 punches, and now he's landed 120. Opened up that time, and filling the spot was a left hook from the Filipino Santiaima, and it doesn't even stop Navarrete at all. He just keeps punching. Wide-ranging right hand, and now Navarrete is on the attack here in round number 5. He is backing up Santiaima. Navarrete clubbing, touching him time and again. Left uppercut, right uppercut, body shot comes in.
Look for that left hook to the body. Santiaima has taken the headshots pretty well, but the shot he hasn't taken well is the left hook to the liver from Navarrete.
This is great work rate here of the volume punching attack and the aggression of Emanuel Navarrete. He is a fan-friendly fighter, and now wrapping up is Santiaima.
Santiaima is a little bit tired. He needs to really, you know, weather the storm and then come back with a combination of his own.
This has been a dominating 5th round from Emanuel Navarrete.
Slug.
Jale la concha, jale la concha, jale la concha. Respira, respira, tranquilo,
Take a deep
tranquilo.
breath. Come on. I need you to keep pressuring him.
Now what?
Give me some
You
water.
okay? You okay? Protector.
Give me the protection. I gotta knock him out here. Don't pressure yourself. Come on, he's done.
So after that big round, let's see what Navarrete offers up here. Round number 6 of our world title fight.
Navarrete, he's sensing it a little bit more. He feels that he's got everything in hand and he wants to take him out in this round.
Navarrete's probably going to take half of this round off, and then you're going to see him crank it back up. Santiaima is still trying to recover from what happened in the last round, so he's not taking advantage of Navarrete taking this part of the round off. It's a silent agreement taking place right now. If you're going to rest, I'm going to rest.
In the corner, they are quite concerned about how Gio Santiaima is feeling right now. So they really have an eye on him. Make sure that Navarrete does not hurt him here.
In that 5th round, Navarrete landed 47 punches. Santiaima threw just 34 punches. That was utter domination in that 5th round by the champ.
I think if Navarrete gets it done inside the distance, it's going to be from the left hook to the body.
I think it's going to be by a whole bunch of combinations at once. You know, he's shown that he can throw a lot of different varieties of punches, and this is what he's done, and they're getting through.
It's a right hand from Navarrete, trying to get over the top there. 450 punches to this point. Santiaima just 166. Comes to the inside. Santiaima tried to time something, and now Santiaima goes to the body, and there's a left hook upstairs from Navarrete.
Navarrete is a veteran. He fights when he wants to fight, and he rests when he wants to rest. But he's even learned how to rest and take a round off and still win that round with throwing minimal punches and taking minimal punishment.
Just like he's doing in this round, doing the same thing. He was definitely winning the last round.
And it is all starting with the left hand, with the jab. Navarrete would be a good case study for Pandora. Tall guy, clearly not as tall, but a guy who knows how to use his range, but also knows when to go inside when he has the advantage.
Deontay Wilder being stretched out now in his locker room. Meanwhile, Fury's walking around with a crown on his head. I think they're going through which crown do you prefer?
He's in street clothes. Is he going to give it?
It's incredible. One guy is already have his hands wrapped. He's stretching out. The other guy is still in his bespoke suit, deciding which crown he's going to wear. And now he's dancing to the In Arena of music here.
He's having fun before the fight.
It's all he knows.
Let me tell you, some guys like to get ready early and get stretched out. Some guys like to get ready late. I was one of the persons that like to get ready late. You know,
is there advantage one way or the other, or is it just a preference?
Well, it's a preference for me. I didn't like waiting around and sitting around and not doing anything. If I was doing that, I'll be sleeping. So if I was there early, then I would have time to stretch out. You know, Muhammad Ali took like 2 hours to get ready, and he did a lot of shadow boxing. He did a lot of stretching.
I always had a concern about being rushed. I knew I had a walk time. I knew the stage manager was going to come back and say, we're walking in 5 minutes. I never wanted to be ill-prepared. I wanted to have my cup on, my wraps on, be fully warm, so I always made sure I was ready ahead of time and with time to spare.
Well, somebody who travels the world with you week in and week out covering boxing, I'm well aware of how you like to be prepared well in advance, Andre Ward. It's great to have this conversation driven between a guy who was the heavyweight champion of the world and a guy who retired undefeated as the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. Lennox Lewis and Andre Ward. What a dream team we have ringside here tonight with the two of you. Round 7 here, WBO 122-pound championship with Emanuel Navarrete, who has been among the most active world champions in boxing. 5 title fights in just 14 months. And we mentioned it earlier, at one point last year, he had the rarest of rares, a 4-week turnaround to defend a title. He fought in mid-August, he fought in mid-September.
Navarrete showed us a different look there. He turned southpaw for a moment. Didn't connect with any punches, but it was a good look.
Overall, he's out-connected Santiaima 164 to 42, including 124 power punches. The best work coming in round number 5 when he had 47 connects. There's a 1-2 from the champ.
Well, this slot on this card, Joe, was not even Navarrete's initially. It was Gilberto Ramirez. And he didn't want it for whatever reason. So Navarrete said, okay, I'll take it. So that's why he's here tonight.
Well, when his phone rings, he always says yes. Now, what's interesting about the future of Navarrete, assuming he defends the title here tonight and gets through this, he has been struggling to make 122 pounds. He struggled this week. When we met with him the other day, he walks into the room. Lennox, I saw your eyes go up. He was chewing on ice cubes. That's all he was eating for about a day and a half, just chewing on ice cubes. This most likely is his final fight at 122 pounds.
Yeah, I believe that. I mean, you got to fight the weight that you're comfortable at. And if he's not comfortable there, if it's hard for him to make weight, go up.
I feel like we've said that the last 3 or 4 fights, Joe, and then he comes out here and puts on a great performance, and then he stretches it one more. That's
the difference is now is his team, his management is saying that. And then you look at the featherweight division and you consider some of the big names there, and a guy who has the frame and can go up 4 pounds, but very attractive fights to be made at 126 pounds for Navarrete.
There's no easy work at 126 for Navarrete, but great matchups, like you said.
Carl Frampton there. Josh Warrington, of course, Shakur Stevenson, who Andre Ward, you co-manage.
Gary Russell,
outstanding fighters as you go to 126 and 130 pounds.
Also a sharp dresser.
Is he ever? Coming to the end of round number 7, and that affords us the opportunity to go up to Brian Kenny and the guys.
It is fascinating, Tim, that these guys are so vastly different, including tonight. Deontay Wilder is prowling. He's serious. And Tyson Fury couldn't be any looser. He's in there dancing. He's got the crown on. What do you make of it?
I'm going to tell you something about that looseness of Tyson Fury. He was loose in his last fight against Otto Wallin. And it wasn't a good thing for him. It wasn't a good look. He came out, he was careless. He got the big gash over his eye. He looked okay, subpar performance. But I love the temperament of Deontay Wilder. Serious, focused.
I disagree.
Determined.
I disagree.
Okay, that's fine.
Listen,
I love that.
you see, at the end of the day, you gotta love what you do. Why would I hide my love for what I'm doing? Tyson Fury is in love right now. He's loving every single part of what's going on, and that's his way of expressing it. I'm taking my time.
I guess he could be in love for right now because Deontay Wilder is dressed like it's for a funeral right
Absolutely.
now. All black, he means big.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Unheard of. Max Kellerman shut out for the entire between rounds. Joe!
And I find that greatly disappointing, so I'd love to hear what Max has to say. Max, what say you?
Deontay Wilder's the puncher. Rocky Marciano used to fall asleep in the locker room before fights, take a nap. Deontay's not thinking about anything but the job at hand. He's actually relaxed and focused. And Tyson Fury has that Ali personality. He's an extrovert. He's a showman. He's enjoying himself. These guys are authentic characters. This is who they are.
Tyson Fury is the ultimate showman, and Deontay Wilder is a fascinating personality. You'll hear that roar of Bomb Squad a little later on. And then, of course, you will see if he can deliver the ultimate bomb, and that is the eraser, the right hand. He has 41 knockouts, the most of any current champion. Pacquiao with 39. Canelo has 36. Here we are in round number 8. Larry Hazard Sr. has 59 to 55 in favor of Emanuel Navarrete, looking for another title defense. He has been dominating the action so far, with the exception of round number 4, when we saw Santiaima land that left hook to the neck and the side of the head of Navarrete.
Not to take away from this fight, Joe, but the more that this arena starts to fill up, you start to feel the suspense and the anticipation of the main event. It's tangible. You feel it in the air. And we have a big mega fight on our hands tonight.
Well, let's add that up the right way there. As we include round 7 there, and just took a glance at 69 to 64 with Larry Hazard Sr.'s score there. You're absolutely right, Dre. You can sense it, and you can sense it building all week long. And we will still have the heavyweight title eliminator, and then there's going to be a very special ceremony tonight prior to the main event to celebrate the great legacy of all-time legendary heavyweight champions who are joining us here live ringside. Of course, we have one as our broadcast partner, Lennox Lewis and Andre Ward ringside with us here.
I think Navarrete needs to get back to hitting the body of Santiaima. That's when he's had his best success, or at least visibly. He's hurt Santiaima with headshots, but the left hooks to the body are that's what's jumped out at me the most, and I think he needs to get back there to try to get the stoppage win tonight.
Well, he also has to watch out for Santiaima.
Yeah.
Left hook, especially when he comes in close, because that's the first punch he's throwing.
End of 8. Navarrete remains in control. The world champion from Mexico City. He's 24 years old.
Sí, ya vi, güey. Pero, güey, ya agarraste tu... Amigo, también. Uno más.
I want to take you to Tyson Fury's locker room and show you what just happened moments ago. Remember, he was having fun. We didn't see the hand wraps. Watch what happens here as you see a member of Team Fury going up to put a towel over our lockdown camera where we can monitor him with, as has often been the case. And instead, he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'll just pull the plug. So that is it.
Yeah, I mean,
they have darkened the camera there and flipped the switch and pulled the plug for Team Fury. So now I guess it is time to get serious.
Yeah.
All the joking is done.
That's that switch I told you about earlier. The great ones know how to turn it on and turn it off.
well, I used to not allow a camera in my dressing room. I didn't want people to know what I was up to.
Here's what I find fascinating, speaking of not allowing cameras. Tyson Fury is very media friendly. He loves giving interviews. He loves giving access, with the exception of during this camp. He did not allow access for his sparring. Nobody has any film footage or video footage or any reports on what was happening in sparring with Tyson Fury.
Yeah, I understand it. I respect it. And I don't think sparring should be showed for the whole world. I think that's a private moment where there's days where you may have a bad day. You may get exposed a little bit by a sparring partner. There may be a day, most days should be in your favor, but that's not really for the public's eye. You want to keep people guessing. There's been rumors coming out of, I don't want to say out of Camp Fury, but just swirling about the cut and maybe not training properly because of the cut and having to, let sparring partners only hit the body. He's keeping Deontay Wilder guessing. What you don't know, you have to wonder about. So I think it's a great strategy, and I think it's a good thing for Team Fury.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to turn it on and turn it off. And then if you're in there sparring, obviously you're working on certain stuff that you don't want to make the other team aware of. So I understand that completely.
Nothing wrong with what Tyson Fury did for this training camp. I said Navarrete was taking a round off maybe 2 or 3 rounds ago, but I think he's taken off the last 2 or 3 rounds. I think he needs to get back to what was working, the jab, the combinations to the head with the hard shots to the body. Because Santiaima has basically conceded to do whatever it is that Navarrete wants to do.
Navarrete, and you haven't noticed, but has turned to southpaw a couple times and threw a right jab and been successful with it.
And he switches from right-handed to left-handed seamlessly.
He does. On the attack, if it's there, he'll take it. He has no problem with making that transition orthodox to southpaw in motion based on how the punches are coming.
It's not by the book, but it works for him.
Santiaima's, he's receiving these shots, he's blocking them, but he's not answering. He's not coming back with his own shots, which he should. He's waiting for that perfect time to throw that perfect punch. Sometimes it's not there.
If Santiaima's going to have a shot, he's got to let his hands go.
Big night here in Vegas, our first world title fight. We have the heavyweight eliminator and then the big one, Wilder Fury, which means all the celebrities will be coming out. And believe it or not, many have arrived early here to the MGM Grand Garden Arena. That includes the royal couple of sports entertainment from the WWE, Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, making their way in. They are huge supporters of Tyson Fury as he headlines a major pay-per-view. There is Gordon Ramsay, the Brit celebrity chef, who also is a big fan of Fury. He's a massive boxing fan. Michael J. Fox has made his way to take his seat ringside in anticipation of the heavyweight championship. And Jerry West having a conversation right now just off to the side with Steve Harvey. There will be sports celebrities making their way in moments. We have actors from Game of Thrones. We have boxing luminaries, NBA players, NFL players. And Magic Johnson has just arrived. There is something about these two undefeated heavyweights, something about this mega promotion that really brings us back to the last, most recent golden era of the big Vegas heavyweight fights of Lennox and Iron Mike and Holyfield and Bo. There is Wilder now, continuing to stretch out, eyes closed. He has been so focused since the moment he made his walk in, worked his way through the crowd, got to the locker room, was wrapped up early, and he has continued on for the better part of the last 15 to 20 minutes with his stretching routine.
And Joe, speaking of hand wraps, if you see Navarrete shaking that right hand, it's not particularly injured, but his cornerman, Pedro Navarrete, told me the hand wrap was loose, and that's why he's not able to flick it the way he usually does.
And that's the last thing that a fighter wants to feel, is that the wrap isn't the way he prefers it.
Yeah, I've never heard of a wrap being too loose. I've certainly heard of a wrap being too tight.
Yes.
This is the first for me.
Yeah, I mean, if the wrap's too tight, then as the fight goes on, it loosens up. And if a wrap's too loose, I guess as the fight goes on, it loosens up.
What does that do in terms of just your overall feel, your overall comfort as a fighter when you say to yourself, this isn't the way it's supposed to be? Something's off with the way this wrap is. And now you see him going southpaw. So the right hand is now his lead jab hand as he turns southpaw, goes back to orthodox, of course, and gets a combination. But he has been switching stances a bit here.
Yeah,
now a combination on the inside. You can see the tape is actually loose on Santiaima. Some good work here in round number 10 by Navarrete.
He needs to finish to the body. Headshots are good, but he needs to finish downstairs with that left hook to the body, just like that.
Look at this attack by Navarrete. And every so often, Santiaima is trying to place a punch between punches, but it has been a tidal wave of offense here in round number 10 all of a sudden from Navarrete.
And I say that because Santiaima can take a good headshot. Sometimes guys can take it to the head all night long, but sometimes they can't take it to the body. The only shot that Santiaima reacts from is the left hook to the liver.
You're right, and it's affected him. It's affected him in the way that he wants to hold right now.
Yeah, he covers up every time.
Yeah.
That was a desperate right hand from Santiaima right there.
That was a big 10th round from Navarrete. Through 90 plus punches.
Acá, vaquero, comanda. Respira. No te desesperes, este estuvo chingón. Así ya no tiene, güey, ya no tiene, güey.
Well, Bernardo discussed the issue with the wraps on the right hand, and you can see him shaking, almost trying to reset that right hand. And then pushing the top of the glove as if to get it more secure. So clearly discomfort with the way that right hand wrap is holding on.
Well, you know, sometimes, in some cases, you know, when you see a guy shaking his hand, you figure that he hurt his hand.
Correct.
So, you know, maybe he might have hurt his hand that he doesn't really want anybody to know.
And the report that was given to Bernardo as soon as that it's an issue with the wrap, but perhaps they're not giving it fully here, and perhaps there is an injury, but clearly affected.
Yeah, I mean, to your point last round, how does it feel? It's a nuisance. It's annoying. You want everything to be right when you're in a boxing ring. So to feel a wrap loose, and again, I've never heard of this. I normally hear about a wrap being too tight, but either way, it's something that's not right. It's annoying. But if there's no pain there, Navarrete has to buckle down and close the show and not worry about the right hand. Unless that wrap is so loose where it's not protecting his hand anymore, he needs to lock in, like I said, and find a way around it. Body shot right there from Santiima.
There have been times where Santiima's found just enough of a crevice between punches, and now he tries to come over the top of the right hand, just missed there. That was blocked away from Navarrete. Santiima willing here in round number 11. And look at Navarrete now with his elbow up on the top rope before he comes out at the Filipino challenger.
That left hook a few seconds ago hurt Santiima.
Yeah, he's still squinting from it.
And Navarrete sees Santiima affected. You can tell. Yeah. And there's a headshot. Santiima, he is compromised here in round number 11. Navarrete on the charge, trying to place a short uppercut on the inside. Combination punching upstairs. Uppercut, body shot came in with a left hand. Runs to him to close the gap. Can he close the show here in style? Round number 11, trying to defend his title one more time. Santiima's so game. He actually ducked through the blue and white rope for a moment there. Strafing attack to the head, coming down and wrapping up his Santiima, but he can't hold back from the Mexican world champion.
And the referee is very close to the
And now tying up so awkwardly that he throws Navarrete into that top rope. Clearly damaged is Santiima. Can Navarrete finish things off here in round number 11? Russell Morris giving it a look. There it is. TKO victory. Emanuel Navarrete.
Yeah, the ref was really close to him. He was looking to see what was going on. And you need to step in and stop the fight right there. Santiima just wasn't throwing any punches back, and he was looking like he was hurt.
31st win, 27th knockout. He's 24 years old, and all he does is want to get back in the ring time and time again and do damage like that. The numbers were extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. Navarrete threw 922 punches, landed 330, and 274 of them were power punches. In that 11th round alone, the champ landed 57 of 77 power punches. What a way to close the show. Gio Santiima was as game as he could be in his first world title challenge, but overmatched by the WBO Junior Featherweight World Champion, his 5th title defense. See the blood coming from the nose of Santiima. A reminder, we are going to have our heavyweight title eliminator with Charles Martin and Gerald Washington. We will give you constant coverage of the events going on in the locker rooms with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury. Get the reports there. The special presentation of the heavyweight legends, and then the ring walks for Wilder Fury. We're only one fight away now from the heavyweight championship of the world between the undefeated heavyweights. All right, guys, let's take you through with the shot that started it all from Emanuel
This is where all the
Navarrete.
trouble started for Santiaima. The body shot, the head shot right there is what really had him going. And Navarrete does what Navarrete does. He doesn't look for one shot. He wants to hit you anywhere on your person, anywhere on your body. Uppercuts, straight rights. He pushes you back when you try to hold. That's discouraging. That drains you.
And then the end of the fight, Lennox.
Yeah, Navarrete it's just a volume of punches. Santiaima couldn't get away from it, and the referee stepped in and stopped the fight.
Good stoppage for more.
For the official particulars, here's Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 20 seconds of round number 11. Our referee in charge, Russell Mora, stops the contest. He is the winner by way of knockout and still the WBO Junior Featherweight Champion of the world. Well, El Vaquero Navarrete.
And perhaps that's the last time he's ever introduced as a junior featherweight. He's been struggling to make weight. What a showstopper he continues to be. Bernardo.
All right, both fighters congratulating one another. Emanuel, duraste 11 episodios. ¿Qué pasó con la mano? ¿Cuál fue la situación con la mano? What happened with your hand?
Un golpe feo, un golpe como al costado, me lastimé el pulgar derecho, pero tenemos que defender el título con todo corazón, ¿no?
I hit him weirdly with my right hand, and I did hurt my thumb, but I had to, plow through it and get the victory tonight. Quinta defensa de tu corona mundial, todas ellas por la vía del cloroformo. ¿Qué fue distinta en esta pelea? Porque duraste. Your 5th world title defense, all of them have been stoppage wins. What took you so long? Because it was a tough guy.
Sí, así es, gracias a Dios estamos aquí en Vegas realizando lo que es la quinta defensa del título mundial. El vaquero, me siento muy agradecido con toda la gente que me ha apoyado, y yo creo que la pelea duró mucho porque San Martín es un filipino, un guerrero que no se muere sino en la raya.
I'm extremely excited to be fighting again here in Las Vegas, making that 5th world title defense on the grandest of stages. And the fight did take a long time because I had a very tough opponent in Santiaima. Joe, we'll send it back to you.
Thank you very much. And Lennox Lewis take credit. He said he was